Hi everybody, my name is Hunter Hero, and welcome to my Darkworld Purrley profile, or Purrley Darkworld, it would be Purrley Darkworld, deck profile for post-Cyberstorm access. This deck got a lot better, and I would like to apologize to the guy in the comments when I told him that I would update the list after the second wave of support, saying that this was a meme deck, because this is the meta way to play it, as far as I'm aware of, and it's crazy. So, yeah, my apologies, but here's the list that you asked for. Enough rambling, let's actually just get right into it. So we got 3 copies of Purrley and 3 copies of Purrley Lily. So, Purrley, on summon, excavates the top 3, and you grab a Purrley quick spell or trap from among them, put them into your hand, put the rest on the bottom, and then reveals a memory in hand to overlay itself with that memory. Purrley Lily searches the non-quick plays. Anything Purrley related that's not a quick play spell, it can search on summon. And you reveal it, and then you pick a card out of your graveyard that has the associated memory, and you overlay it with Lily. This one's once per turn, this one isn't, so be careful on how you're managing each Purrley's activations, because everybody tends to Veiler this one, which sucks, but what can you do? For our Darkworld package, it has been slimmed down quite a lot since the original Darkworld list, because we now have like 6 other cards to play with. So we're playing 3 Snow and 1 Brow. The reason that we're doing this is because these are the most free discards, and I would normally want to play the second Brow, but I found out in testing that it was super inconsistent. If you drew too many Brow and Snow, your hands would become unplayable. So this gives you the right amount of consistency, so even if you draw all 4 of these, you can still draw like the spell card and still do something. They're still free discards though, so they're fantastic. Yeah. As for our hand trap lineup, we are playing 3 copies of Ash, 3 Droll and Lockbird, 3 Psyframe Gear Gamma and the Driver, and 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. So the thought process here is that like hand traps are super strong this format, and Droll just wins like matches on its own. Gamma can get you out of some really bad situations, especially if you're forced going second. There could be a now I would be playing 3 copies of Santa Claus in here, and that would be over the imperms, but I just don't own them, so. You could also play Veiler over these, which isn't a bad suggestion either. This is just what I like to play. Ash being crazy, Gamma preventing you from losing going first if they Ash one of your spell cards. Droll and Lockbird just being the best hand trap of the format. This lineup's fantastic. It's just as long as you still play the Gammas and the Drolls, I think whatever hand traps you pick are fine. Moving on to the Purrley spell cards, we are playing 3 copies of My Friend Purrley, 3 Purrley Pretty Memory, 3 Sleepy Memory, 3 Delicious, 3 Happy, and 1 Purrley Street. So, My Friend is your recursion, and it's like your copies of there's a Monarch card. I think it's Pantheism or Tenacity, where you reveal 3, but you pay 500 for this one. You reveal 3. This one doesn't. You reveal 3 cards, Purrley cards from your deck. Your opponent randomly chooses one. You add it to your hand. But it comes with the additional effect that if they remove your Purrley Exceeds monster with any of their cards, you grab up to 3 differently named Purrley quick plays from your graveyard, which is how you recur most of your advantage in this deck. Then Purrley Pretty Memory. Is Purrley Pretty Memory and Sleepy Memory your best going first. Pretty being the one that gives us both 1,000 life points, and then Special Summons being a spot removal while it's attached to an Exceeds material, and Sleepy Memory preventing the next damage we take in general, and then allowing us to draw during the standby phase. This card doesn't have a little dog to attach to, or a little Exceeds to attach to, so you need Plump to get to this, but at least you're drawing like 4 to 5 cards during a standby phase, which is fantastic. Speaking of Plump, 3 copies of Purrley Delicious Memory. Delicious Memory targets a monster, makes it unkillable by battle, which is how you OTK people over Santa Claus. If you have the Santa Claus, this card gets a lot better, but if not, you just use it to save your own Purrleys. And then Happy Memory stops once per card destruction. And this card actually came up in testing. My opponent took control of one of my cards and then tried to pop it to resolve one of their effects. So I chained this to prevent it from being destroyed, to get prevent their ad, which doesn't come up very much, but it's super interesting that it happened in general. So and it gives an additional attack. This one boosts. This one gives the additional attack, and then straight Purrley Street prevents targeting the turn that your Purrleys are summoned, and then when your Purrley exceeds dies by an opponent's card, you pick up a level 1 from either your deck or graveyard and special summon it. So it's another way these two paired together creates a devastating grind game, no matter how many times the out-year exceeds, which is super nice. I have considered playing multiples of this, but we'll have to see in future builds if that pans out. Right now, one's just fine. And for the last main deck card, we are playing Purrley Leap. This is how you make Noir going first. You want to hope to try to hit this as fast as possible. So this card, you target the plum, make it into a Noir, and then you draw more cards, because each instance of the Sleepy Memory triggers is a separate activation. So you can use this to get more draws during the standby, which helps draw you into more hand traps. And it recurs your level 1s, which makes it fantastic for just in case the game runs really long against like a control deck. So that's really good. Moving on to our extra deck, we have one copy of Purrley Happiness. This card's fantastic. Not like good enough to play in spades. Like we aren't worried about cash taking this, but this card has a non-once per turn search effect. So for every at the end of the damage step, as long as it has its memory attached, it gets a search. So because it has its own memory attached, it gets 2 attacks. So that's 2 searches at the end of the damage step. But it's when it attaches the quick plays is its worst effect, because it bounces back row, which doesn't do anything this format. But overall, I think this card's fantastic if you're going second, because it helps just load up your hand with just all the Purrley cards. Going first, this doesn't do anything. So in terms of Purrleys that are important, we are playing 2 Beauty, 2 Plump, 2 Noir, and 1 Purrley Happiness. So Beauty is your imperm, and it changes the battle positions on a quick effect. Plump is how you set up going first. Quick effect, target spells to attach them to him as exceeds material. And then banishes a card when you activate the quick plays. Noir is your win con. The only reason we're playing these in multiples is so that way Cashtira players can't rip both out with one, rip the only copy out with Diabolosis. So if that changes, I will probably edit the list if Diabolosis does get hit to make things a little more flexible in the extra, but that's what we're playing right now. But Noir also puts cards from the deck, from the field or graveyard back into the deck, which helps mess up opponents' setups. And Purrley Happiness just wins you the game. It does burn damage on attack deck. Your opponent, I think it blanks all your opponent's monsters, and they can't respond to it. It's crazy. It just closes games. And then we have the backup plan. 1 copy of Lyra Lusic Assembled Nightingale, and 1 copy of Lyra Lusic Ensemble Robin. There are boards where you can make Robin plus your normal setup, which is actually super duper cool, because it gives you a backup play just in case they like exceeds Encore your Noir. It just gives you something to play off of. And then Assembled Nightingale is just used to make Zeus. And then speaking of Zeus, 1 Downer, 2 Zeus. Most people aren't going to snipe the Downer. They are going to snipe the Zeus. So we're playing 1 and 2 of each. This deck is really, really good at just making the biggest Zeuses imaginable. So, and then for the last 2 cards in the extra deck, these can be Lina and Dark, depending on how often you're seeing Contact C. But these are just to make stuff with the Gamma, Omega, and Draco Berserker. This should be, emphasis on should, Excel Stardust, Synchron Dragon, and Baron de Fleur, but I don't own the Excel Stardust, so this is just what we got to do. So we have the going second option for Gamma and the going first option for Gamma. That's all they're here for. They have no real synergy with the deck other than Omega putting stuff back, so that way you have more more cards to play with, but that's really about it. But yeah, yeah, sorry for like zipping through this one, guys, but yeah, it's really late at the time of recording this, and we're still waiting for a ban list by Konami. So if things sped through this, or if there's like an issue with the video, just like post a comment. I'll re-record it again. But this deck is a lot of fun, and I'm very glad that this deck is meta due to the second wave of support. Yeah. Also, as I pick up more cards and improve the deck as well, I'll post updated deck profiles. Again, post it in the comments if you guys want want me to post certain things, or if there's certain things that you're looking for, suggestions, stuff like that. I've read all of the comments. I may not respond to all of them, but I am starting to read all of them, and I'm very glad that you guys are interacting with my stuff, and every piece of advice helps me improve as a player. So I thank you guys for that, and yeah, that's enough of this tired man's ramblings. So I'll let you go have a wonderful night.